Happy Thursday, everyone. Today is November 5th, and thanks for joining me for this week's briefing. SU's COVID-19 positivity rate remains very low, and that's great. However, many communities across the nation are seeing a record high number of cases every day. Scientists and public health officials are warning us that as the weather turns colder, the pandemic may get even worse, and so we must remain vigilant. All SU community members must get a PCR test administered on campus by SU at least every 30 days. Those who do not will lose access to classes and to campus buildings. We do this to better ensure the safety of the entire campus. I know that many of you were overdue for testing and have scheduled your tests for this week, and we appreciate your diligence. Please pay attention to this and don't fall behind schedule. At times, we will also ask everyone to be tested within the same week, regardless of the timing of your last test. For example, we are requiring everyone to be tested during the week after Thanksgiving. Many of you will return to campus after having spent several days away. If you have not already done so, please take time today to schedule your test for the week after Thanksgiving. Campus access will be restricted for those who don't get tested. Please also remember that this is a pandemic, and our plans following Thanksgiving break, or really any time, are subject to change. I also want to take this opportunity to remind students and employees that if you're not feeling well and you believe you're experiencing COVID-related symptoms, you should contact campus health or student health so that a medical professional can consult with you. We also have a 24/7 hotline with medical professionals on call. All of those numbers and email addresses are available on our website. I remain very proud of students and employees for your dedication to learning, teaching, and providing services during this time. SU maintains the highest level of face-to-face and hybrid instruction in the entire university system of Maryland. I know it hasn't been easy, but it's important for your education and for your future. Now, a couple of updates about things happening on campus. On Saturday, November 14th, the Student Government Association will hold a modified version of its annual big event, Community Cleanup Project. This initiative means so much to the greater community, so thank you to students who have already signed up to participate. Many students and faculty are also sharing their talents in music, theater, and dance, and insights into history, the arts, and other areas via virtual performances and lectures. November's cultural calendar is especially full. I encourage you to find events of interest to you online. Last Friday, I hope you were able to attend one of the campus climate town halls. The full report of our study is available online. For those of you who would like to provide comments, please email equity@salisbury.edu. I plan to appoint a campus climate implementation committee to provide suggestions for addressing the opportunities revealed in this study. Finally, I thank members of the campus community who have engaged in meaningful and civil conversations following the election on Tuesday. We had a record high voter participation rates in the election, and so your voice was heard. Now, as the final ballots are counted and we learn the results, it's time to shift gears because we still have a country to run. I encourage you to write to your elected representatives, whether you voted for them or not, and let them know how you feel about issues that are important to you. I think you'd be surprised at how effective that is because so few people take the time to do it. Okay, at this time, I will take any of your questions. Eli, what's coming in on the question board?
Thanks, Dr. Wight. The first questions are about spring break. Will there be additional breaks now that spring break is over or gone, is what this person said? Will the spring semester end sooner? And will there be more counseling and student services without the long break?
So the simple answer to the more breaks is no. The only change to the spring academic calendar is that we're going to take an abbreviated spring break on March 15th and 16th. That's a Monday and Tuesday. And then we'll be back in classes on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But we will end the semester 3 days earlier, so you'll recover those 3 days at the end of the semester. As for counseling, we do have lots of resources for counseling for people who just want or need to talk to somebody. We have our counseling center available, and the last time I checked, the waiting times were minimal or no waiting time to see a counselor. And we also have a 24/7 hotline for you.
Thanks, Dr. Wight. If students wish to stay on campus during Thanksgiving, will they be able to stay in current dorms? Would they be forced to live with another person?
So Student Affairs sent out a questionnaire asking if anybody was planning to stay here over the Thanksgiving break. Out of necessity, there are many reasons why you might have to do that. But only a handful of students have responded to the survey. So the plan right now is to consolidate those students into Dogwood Village over the break, so everybody will have their own room. And the reason for that is because when there are students here on campus, we also have to have RAs and staff on campus. So it's important to know how many students are going to be on campus so that we can staff the campus properly. The other part of the answer to this question is your residence hall will be locked over Thanksgiving. So if you need to stay here over Thanksgiving break, you are welcome to do so, but you must tell Student Affairs that you're going to be here.
Thanks, Dr. Wight. How does one request an official copy of their COVID-19 test results?
We do have the ability to provide official COVID testing results to you if you really need it. You can request that from the email address covidtesting@salisbury.edu. If your test was positive, we automatically receive official notifications of all positive tests, and so it's pretty easy to get it to you. If your test was negative, then it's quite a bit more involved for us to get that result for you. So I would encourage you to ask that only if you really need it. But if you need it, email us at covidtesting@salisbury.edu.
Dr. Wight, the next question is, why are there not more testing dates available other than the 16th and the 23rd prior to Thanksgiving break?
So if you need a test before Thanksgiving break, we do have those testing dates available for you. So you should avail yourself of those tests and sign up for a free test if you need it. But we are requiring everyone to get a test in the week after Thanksgiving break. And so that week is going to be especially busy. So again, as I said before, if you haven't already scheduled your test for the week after Thanksgiving, take some time today and do it, please.
And Dr. Wight, could you tell us, will there be any discussions about planning a COVID-safe graduation for spring graduates?
Yes. We have not started those conversations in earnest. We wanted to get through the winter to see what that looks like before we start planning the spring commencement. But yes, we are always looking for COVID-safe ways of holding a spring commencement. So please send your ideas. For students, the best way to send your ideas to us is through the SGA or the Graduate Student Council. Those are your shared governance groups, and we will be working with shared governance to design those ceremonies. If you are a faculty or staff member, we have Faculty Senate and Staff Senate shared governance bodies. You can share those ideas through them. And if you're a parent, you can send us your ideas at the stayinformed@salisbury.edu address.
And Dr. Wight, if someone is currently in quarantine due to being exposed to a positive case, will the health services reach out to them at any point?
Yes. If you're in quarantine because you were identified through the contact tracing process of being in close contact with somebody who is positive for COVID-19, then yes, Campus Health will be reaching out to you. We are going to encourage you to get a COVID test about 5 to 6 days into your quarantine, and that can potentially help you to shorten the amount of time that you're quarantined or isolated. So yes, we will be in touch with you.
And Dr. Wight, just for a point of clarification, I think that getting tested while you're in quarantine helps to prevent you from having to restart the isolation process, but does not adjust your quarantine time.
Right. So the normal quarantine period would be 14 days. But if you go through all of that 14 days and then have a COVID test and test positive, then you have at least another 10 days after the 14 days to remain isolated. So if you get your test early after about 5 or 6 days into your quarantine period, that gives enough time for any virus to be through the incubation period. We can identify you there, and then you'd go through your 10 days or so of isolation. And overall, your isolation and quarantine period can be significantly shortened.
All right, Dr. Wight, looks like those are all of the questions for today. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Be sure to send your questions to stayinformed at salisbury.edu. Please, everyone, stay safe. Thank you for your continued commitment as we work to finish the semester strong. Go Gulls.